And we will be providing you with the recording as a follow-up to this presentation. And we absolutely encourage you to share this information with anyone who you think will benefit from learning as well. One last thing before we get started, I'd like to do a quick plug for the Council on Aging. We are a private 501c3 nonprofit that has been serving Martin County since 1974. This year, we are also celebrating the 10th anniversary of opening the Kane Center, which is our beautiful headquarters located on Salerno Road in Stuart. We have some exciting activities planned, hopefully, for the end of this year to commemorate the anniversary. So if you've never been to the Kane Center or you haven't come and visited us in a while, we really hope that you'll come by and see us soon. The Council on Aging is the go-to resource for expertise, programming, and support for seniors and their families and loved ones. This has been an extremely challenging year, I know, for everyone, which is an understatement, but particularly for our seniors. And we are excited that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. And through it all, the council has been here, and we will continue to be here for whatever you, our seniors, or your loved ones need well into the future. Never hesitate to reach out to us. I will put my contact information in the chat box, as well as it will be in the follow-up email you receive after this webinar. With that, I am delighted to introduce our two presenters, both of whom join us from Better Business Bureau serving Southeast Florida and the Caribbean. Cynthia Lavin is the VP of Communications and Community Engagement, and Jackie McNeil is the Regional Manager for our local area. In the background, you will also see William Ruffin. William is the BBB's Accreditation and Marketing Coordinator, and he will be helping to run the presentation and to help us troubleshoot any issues we may have. So with that, I will let our experts take it away.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. It's a pleasure doing it this way. At least we can get the word out for the Better Business Bureau as to what you need to be aware of and be more educated in making your decisions of who you're going to place your business with. My name is Jackie McNeil. I'm with the Better Business Bureau since 1984. Our bureau has serviced 11 counties since 1969. We service as far south as Key West, to as far north as Indian River County, to as far west as the Highlands. We have 3 locations: home office in West Palm Beach, Miami Lakes, and Stuart, Florida. The Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit organization, and we are part of over 100 BBBs in North America, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. We are on a mission to promote trust in the marketplace, set business standards, accept and attempt to resolve complaints, accept, validate, and share customer reviews. We review licensing and government action, privacy policies, and data security. The Better Business Bureau is here to serve. We are happy to answer any of the questions that you have. And we hope that you find this an enjoyable and educational presentation. And Cynthia Lavin, our Vice President of Communications and Community Service, take it away.
All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. So William, if we could go back to the first slide just so that everyone can just see the address of the Stuart, Florida office. So if anyone ever has a complaint and they're not able to file it online for whatever reason, they can just go ahead and write out their complaint to this address, or they can give us a call to this number. We will be happy to also send you a printed form that you can fill out and send back to us. So keep that in mind. We'll give you the address again at the end of the presentation, and you'll get it once you get the recording. So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the presentation. So this is really focused on senior citizens and scams. There's a misconception that only senior citizens get targeted for scams, and that is not true, but it is a population that we are always taking care of only because they are the population that does lose the most amount of money. So it is important to always do these kind of conversations with seniors, because there's just so many things in the world, so much advanced that even us who work on this day to day, we have a hard time catching up and knowing what these scammers are up to. So over 50% of fraud victims are senior citizens, and there's going to be a 207% increase in the 65 plus population projected by 2030. So the biggest number in the population, we're an aging population, so there's going to be a lot of seniors by 2030. So it's important that we prepare our seniors, that we inform them, and that they're just ready to be good consumers who are helping all of us just fight fraud. Next slide, William. Okay, so why are senior citizens targeted? Well, they're the population that's more likely to be home. So a population that's usually retired or maybe doing work part-time and doing it from home. They tend to be more trusting, and seniors are more trusting only because they remember a time when things were not so digital. They remember a time when things were just pretty straightforward and perhaps different. And if somebody will come to your door, or somebody would contact you soliciting or trying to sell something, it was just pretty much that. People were selling things and they were just not trying to get exorbitant amount of money out of you. So that's why they tend to be more trusting. This has nothing to do on their abilities or anything like that. It's a difference in generation and just how practices were before. Also, seniors may be on fixed incomes, and they may be physically incapable of making home repairs. And later in the presentation, we'll talk about this particular part of the home repairs. Next slide. So the first thing is investment scams. And we decided this year to really cover investment scams because of the coronavirus, there has been a lot of people just trying to turn profit, to just kind of learning about the stock market, seeing what they can do with any saved money that they may have and any funds that they have saved for rainy days, to see how they can just kind of turn it into more money. Also, there's been a lot of developments of platforms for amateur investors. So apps like Robinhood, apps like Webull are helping people just buy stocks easily, track stocks easily, removing a lot of the language that may be safe for just investors before. So this is why we decided to cover investment scams, especially. Also, there's been a lot of quote unquote firms in South Florida claiming to sell certain financial products or just trying to take money from people offering certain investment products. So fraudsters tend to go where the money is, and that means targeting older Americans who are nearing or already in retirement. Retired people tend to have savings, tend to have large packages of money from their maybe 401k. So they know that this is a thing, and these fraudsters go to these people. In South Florida in particular has a lot of retirees, so that's why they come here. Financial fraudsters tend to go after people who are college educated, optimistic, and self-reliant. So a lot of the seniors who may have been practicing long careers in whatever area probably feel capable of doing investments and feel prepared. And they just know that it's something that they have to do even if they don't know a lot about it. They also target those with higher incomes and financial knowledge. So believe it or not, a lot of the seniors in our area are part of investment clubs, really know the importance of investing a little bit of money so that they can duplicate it. So really, they don't go to the group of people that would never invest money because they just don't know anything about it. They actually go to people who feel like they know a little bit about investments. So if you believe you've been defrauded or treated unfairly by a securities professional or firm, you can visit finra.org to file a complaint. So FINRA is, and it's under the FTC, and they are actually partners with us. So a lot of the content that you'll see on this presentation was developed by FINRA, and a lot of the people at BBB at a national level go to FINRA trainings yearly. Unfortunately, last year was the first year we couldn't do it, but we learned a lot about financial scams and what are some of the red flags and some of the groups targeted and just data overall. So, okay. So we're gonna get into the red flags of fraud. So these are the red flags that you're gonna have to really keep in mind when it comes to anyone approaching you and talking about investments. So the very first one of the red flags is guarantees. So you have to understand that all investments carry a degree of risk. If there's a firm or a person coming to sell you an investment product and telling you that the returns are guaranteed 100%, run. That is definitely a red flag because even the most safe investment does carry a degree of risk. And that is why the FDIC insures your bank account money for up to really $250,000. So even putting your money in a bank carries some degree of risk. Even having it under your mattress carries some degree of risk because somebody could just break in and look there. So just understand that anyone who says it's 100% guaranteed is a red flag. The other one is unregistered products. So products that maybe you've never heard of, maybe some sort of bonds and names that sound a little bit complicated, can be products that are just being made by this fictitious firm or the person trying to sell you this financial investment. And again, you can go to finred.org and check the actual registered products. So it's a really good resource to check before any investment. Now, overly consistent returns, this is a very important one because again, when we invest money, we all want to see that money back, correct? So really any investment that is consistently going up month to month should raise suspicion. It's regardless of market conditions. It's again, it goes up and down. That's just how the market is. So if a person or firm is telling you that consistently you're going to receive a return of X amount of dollars a month or a week or a year, that's another red flag. And it kind of ties into guarantees. Just guaranteeing something is a red flag of fraud. Complex strategies is the other one. So legitimate professionals should be able to explain clearly what they are doing. It is critical that you fully understand any investment that you're getting into. If you don't understand, do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to put things on pause and do more research. Go to finred.org, talk to a family member, call the Better Business Bureau and see if we have any reports on our scam tracker. So do not feel guilty for not making a decision right at the moment. It is your money and it is your responsibility to protect it. So if you don't understand something when it comes to investment, do your research first. The next one is missing documentation. So if someone tries to sell you a security with no documentation, that is another red flag. You should be able to see in paper and read everything and understand it before you buy it. Account discrepancies, that's another one. Unauthorized trades, missing funds, or other problems with your account statements could be the result of a genuine error, or they could indicate churning or fraud. So if you have already invested with a firm or with a person and you see discrepancies in your account, you're seeing that maybe the money that you asked this firm to invest is not the money that's being invested, or maybe the diversification of the portfolio is not what you asked for, that is something that really is a red flag for fraud. Now, the other one that was not listed here was a pushy salesperson. And again, maybe we're just all used to salespeople being pushy, but if the salesperson really doesn't let you talk to anyone, doesn't let you really research and tells you, if you don't do it today, you're going to miss out, that is another red flag. And that ties into our next slide, which covers high pressure tactics. So high pressure tactics are tactics that the firm or person having a conversation with you about these investments can use to be able to just coerce you into signing with them or going into these investments. So the first one is phantom riches, and this applies to a lot of things, not just investment scams, but maybe some pyramid sort of scheme types of sales. I know some people could refer to it as MLM marketing, but dangling the prospect of wealth is really the best way to describe it, enticing you with something you want, but you can't have. So a good example is you're going to get $5,000 a month of income. You're going to be able to buy that Cadillac you've always wanted. You're going to be able to take, your kids and your grandkids and all your family members on a cruise, because you're just going to get all this money that you won't have to worry about anything else. Again, Phantom Riches, they'll show you pictures of people in nice cars, nice vacations, and maybe saying, hey, this person started off at the bottom and look with this investment, look at where they are. The source credibility tactic is another one. So trying to build credibility by claiming to be a reputable firm or to have special credential or experience. So if there's a salesperson claiming to just be a rep from what's the most known one, Goldman Sachs, it's a name that everybody recognizes. It's something that you really have to check, and you can again go to finra.org and you'll see all registered brokers there. So you can research the person's name, you can research the firm, and it will tell you if these people are qualified to be offering these products. The social consensus tactic is the other high pressure tactic. So leading you to believe that other savvy investors have already invested, and maybe they'll name drop if there's someone maybe in that area that's local and you know them to have a lot of money. They'll tell you, this is how so-and-so got started. They came early into this investment. This is what these people don't want you to know. But you are lucky enough that I'm telling you this, and you're going to be just as good as this person. So a name I can think of here in South Florida, Norman Brayman, who owns a lot of the Brayman dealerships, the BMW dealerships in South Florida. They can, drop a name, and it sounds ludicrous, but it makes you question, well, maybe that is how this person had their money back in, 1973 or whatever the case it is. So you have to listen very carefully when these people speak, because they are very charismatic. They can sound very sure of themselves, but when you pick up on all these little nuances, you'll see that maybe it's too good to be true. So the reciprocity tactic is another one. So offering to do a small favor for you in return for a big favor, maybe saying that they'll give you a break on their commission, or that they'll discount a percentage of something of your fees, or offering something as, I can think of a very great example. It's like when you go into these dinners and then they start selling you into a timeshare. And really is, you'll get free tickets to this or whatnot. And you have to sit through that long presentation, and then you're signing your life away. And next thing you know, you're stuck with a timeshare that you didn't want in the first place. So it's a perfect example. Just, I'll give you this if you invest today. The scarcity tactic, is urgency by claiming limited supply. So these salespeople will tell you there's only 2 units left, or there's only 2 days to sign into this, because once we close the pool of investors, you won't be able to get in on it and you're losing money. And they're always going to create that sense of urgency that if you don't get in it when they tell you to, you're going to be losing thousands of dollars, and you're going to regret it. And you're going to see all the peers amongst you just getting rich, and you're just going to be sitting there crying, oh, whoa. And again, high pressure tactic. I am normally one of those people that when any salesperson approaches me, I just off the bat don't believe anything they say. And there's a lot of great salespeople. I mean, people are just trying to make a living, but unfortunately, these scammers get peppered into that pool of people just trying to make a living, and end up being people that want to take money from you. And you have to understand that these are the kinds of frauds where people lose a lot of money. You're not just losing $10, $20 in something you purchased online and then you never received it. People are investing anywhere from $5,000 and up. So we have cases where people have lost $30,000, $50,000, their life savings, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So this, again, is your money. It's your responsibility to take care of it and to invest it wisely. So if you have to maybe come across as a little bit apprehensive or rude to these people, even though you're not used to maybe saying no to salespeople, do so, because at the end of the day, it can make the difference between you losing a lot of money and just, being safe. Next slide. So the strategies to protect yourself in these cases. So to avoid fraud, once you've heard all these people out and kind of picked up on what they have said or what they haven't said to you, you can end the conversation. It's as simple as saying, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested. If you give these people more opportunity to convince you, to talk to you, to tell you more about the quote unquote product, is more of a opportunity you're giving them to make you a victim of a scam. Because sometimes it starts to make sense to you when they tell you all these great things, everything they're offering, all these advantages. So again, end the conversation. The minute it feels weird, no, thank you. No, I'm not interested. No, and that's it. Don't feel bad for saying no, for hanging up the phone, for just walking away. Now, you can also turn the tables and ask questions. Ask them, are you a registered broker? How long have you been registered? Are these registered products? Once the person knows that you are knowledgeable, a knowledgeable consumer, they'll start to back off, right? And you can always tell them if they start guaranteeing something. There are no guarantees in investments. How are you able to guarantee this? So once you start turning the tables on them, usually fraudsters, scammers kind of back off. Talk to someone before investing. So again, consult with peers, consult with people that consult with community outreach people like the BBB, the Kane Center. Say, hey, this sounds a little bit funky. Will you be able to get more information from me? And I'm sure any of us will dig deeper. But again, you have to be patient and do your research first. And again, scammers don't like it when you tell them you're going to talk to somebody. So also a red flag when they tell you not to tell anyone about a deal because it's secretive. It is a huge red flag. They don't want you to consult with anyone because they might get caught. That is why. Also take your name off solicitation list. So to reduce the number of sales pitches you receive, you can use the Federal Trade Commission's National Do Not Call Registry, and that's going to be at the end of this presentation, and you can go ahead and register yourself there. And again, I can't guarantee that you will not receive any calls because all of us are registered there, and I still get some calls, but it may really decrease the amount of correspondence that you get and calls that you get. Okay, so now that we talked about investment scams, which was really the biggest thing because again, people can lose a lot of money, I'm going to talk about other common scams that we see here in South Florida and really all over the country, but this is specifically the most popular one. So the first one is foreign lotteries. Again, if it's saying, hey, if you give us this money, you have won something in Canada or Nigeria. And I mean, I think it's one of the oldest ones, the foreign lotteries, the Prince of Nigeria solicits your help. Again, don't fall for it. And a lot of times these scams kind of shapeshift into something that sounds a little bit more plausible. So they can tell you, maybe someone that you are close to or someone in law enforcement is helping people win all this money, but you only have to give money in exchange. Again, it's a scam. The other one's home repairs, Social Security cancellation, phishing, car warranty expiration, and sweepstakes. So we're going to get in depth into that. So again, the foreign lottery scams, they originate from Canada, Ireland, Spain, the Caribbean, Nigeria, etc. They're illegal in the US. And like I said, there's numerous variations. So really scammers know that we're on to them. So they really try to change a lot of the verbiage when they reach out to people. Home repairs. So home repairs are big in South Florida. And they're big because we have hurricanes, we have a lot of issues with erosion, with just humidity, all kinds of things. So when somebody approaches, we have had issues in the past where contractors or quote unquote contractors, because these are not licensed people, go to living communities, to 55 plus communities, or to large living facilities and say, hey, you could use impact windows and you can use better landscaping and all these different repairs that you need, and maybe get the people together and hire us, but they ask you to get the required permits. Any licensed contractor that's going to do any sort of work won't mind processing those permits, and they'll tell you how much time it's going to take them to process those permits. And the reason why a scammy contractor will tell you to get the permits is because it takes the liability away from them, because they can just disappear without a trace, never process a license, never did anything. So once they take your money, you can't find them. Another thing is they'll pressure you for an immediate decision. Again, going back to the pushy salesperson, they'll tell you, hey, listen, if you don't start fixing these roofs within, a week, when the storms come, they're going to fall on your head. You're going to have a problem. You're going to be homeless. And they'll make you feel, oh my God, they'll make you feel very concerned, very worried. And again, don't fall for it, because these are people looking to take a large deposit of anywhere from north of $5,000 for permits, quote unquote permits that they're not really processing, for supplies, and then they just disappear. Or maybe even start the work, take down your windows or break a wall or take things on your roof and put the blue tarp, and they disappear. So we've had a lot of those cases. And again, a lot of these people that come to your door and tell you all these different things that are wrong with your house, know that you're likely to make a decision and you're not likely to do these repairs yourself. So you enlist their help. Demands cash only or full payment up front. Never, ever, ever pay in full up front, because again, when a firm asks you to pay upfront the full amount, they're very likely to just take the money and run. And we have a lot of those cases in South Florida. And unfortunately, it's people that we can't track down, or people that open up a business, close it, start it up again under another name, under another family member, and then they transfer it. So there's a big business for that down here. So again, please do not pay cash only. Please do not give the full payment up front. Make sure that you pay with check or credit card, half of it or a quarter of it, and that you have documentation as to this money that you gave, and the name of the principal, not just the name of the business, but who owns this business. And yeah, it's very important. Suggest borrowing from a particular lender. This is another one, and this is a terrible thing, because sometimes if these people don't have the money that the contractor is asking of them, they'll tell you, well, you can apply for a credit card here, or you can go to this lender and get this money. And again, we're not talking about $100, we're talking about thousands of dollars. So be careful with this. Do not get into anything that you don't feel sure of. And again, you can go to our business reports on bbb.org to find, you can get a quote for a contractor if you have a specific type of repair to do in your home, or you can look up the business there and see the rating. If you're looking for an accredited business by the BBB, you can find them there as well. Or you can just give us a call and see, hey, I have this person that just came to my door and gave me this name. Can you check them out for me? You can do a simple Google search, or you can go to Sunbiz. These are public records, and you'll see how long the person has been in business, if they closed businesses before. And I know it can be overwhelming, and it sounds like a lot of research prior, but again, it saves you, makes a difference between being a victim and not. Social Security calls. I'm sure we have all received them. I can almost guarantee that there's no one here that hasn't, claiming that your Social Security has been canceled and that you have to pay to have it reinstated. This is false. There is no such thing as a Social Security cancellation. Your Social Security number is a Social Security number, and no matter what you do, it goes with you. They can't cancel it. There's nothing that can happen, and these scammers will tell you, hey, you need to have it reinstated. You can go to jail if you don't pay, and they'll ask you to pay using gift cards. Rule of thumb, any person on the phone that is asking you to pay anything with a gift card is a scammer. Hang up the phone. Don't pick up calls from numbers you don't know. And I know this can be a little bit different for in a population that's slightly older, only because you can remember a time that there wasn't caller ID before, and that you just always pick up the phone because you don't know who's trying to reach out to you, who needs your help. I know my mother always picks up calls, and I tell her, if you don't know who's calling you, don't pick up. Oh, you don't know who it may be. I always say, if it's important, they're going to leave a message. And unfortunately, that's what it's come down to, because what happens when you pick up calls from numbers that you don't know? These scammers have apps that put all these numbers in a rotation. So the numbers that actually pick up the phone continue to be in the rotation and they keep calling you. So the more you pick up the phone, the more they're going to call you. So again, it's important to, if you're not sure of the number, don't pick it up. If you have a number for a doctor's office or lab, make sure that you try to save it on your favorites, on your caller ID, or that you kind of just compare and be able to call them back. If the Social Security Administration needs to contact you, they will do so by mail. And they'll do it even for actions. Perfect example for the stimulus check, even after depositing the stimulus check. I know that they had been sending people letters saying, you received the stimulus check, you qualified for the CARES Act or whatnot. If you haven't received it, you'll be doing so through your tax return or whatnot. But they didn't call people to tell them this information. So it's important you know that if the Social Security Administration needs to contact you, they'll do it by mail. They give you the reports on your contributions by mail. They do everything by mail. Next slide. Okay, so phishing. So this is an example. So phishing is scammers pretending to be a known company, a company that everybody really gets emails from. And this is actually an example that came directly to me about 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to include in this presentation just so that you guys see that anyone can receive them. I have a lot of blocks on my phone, a lot of different things to be able to filter these things. And again, they kind of come through. So the first one, and you'll see a red arrow there, says Netflix. But if you take a look at how it's spelled, the E is in between two parentheses. And that's a typo, misspelling. And that's the first red flag of a phishing email. And then this final reminder notification. And then where you see in the preview, the font is a little bit different and it has this link. Don't open that because it is likely fraudulent correspondence. Just seeing the E in between parentheses, just throw it to your spam folder. It might be something that just kind of filtered through and got in. And then the other one is also from Netflix. The one under it is just service, final reminder, and then, oh, this message has no content. So I guess the scammer kind of had an issue there, sent the first one and then decided to send the second one. But yeah, phishing, again, and these scammers are very savvy. They can pretend to be the Social Security Administration and copy logos, but you'll always notice when you see the address where it's coming from, if you do happen to open up the email, you'll see a combination of numbers, letters, misspelling. So it's important that you don't answer these emails and don't click any links because it may take you to something that takes your computer hostage or takes information from you, and you don't want that. So make sure that you delete, send it to the spam, and check all the settings that you have with the spammy messages on your email. So opening, again, because I like to open these just to be able to relay the information, you'll be able to see this huge subject there. So submit, membership has ended, your payment schedule, renew, and these numbers, again, and see how they copy the Netflix logo, and anyone can do that. But if you look at the sender, it's missing the E from Netflix, and it's too, that's not even my email address. So I'll just put a bunch of random addresses. So again, beware of these, send them to the spam, to the trash. And I know sometimes we can be in a hurry and say, okay, well, I changed my credit card because again, it's a circle of fraud. So a lot of us in South Florida get our credit cards pulled at the gas station, at restaurants. So we have to change all our credit card information again. And if we have stuff on auto pay, it's very easy to maybe miss some of the services that we have it and just kind of in the hecticness of everything, forget that maybe we don't have Netflix at all, or we already changed the information, or it's paid through our phone message, or we use someone else's Netflix. I know a lot of my family members use their all-in-one account. So again, be aware of this because you'll end up losing money and information. Next slide. So the car extended warranty calls, And I decided to include this little meme here because I just thought it was very funny. So this guy is just on a desert island. He's stuck and he sees a message in a bottle. And when he sees it is, we've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. And it's just really how ridiculous it has become that these people are calling you constantly to talk to you about your car's extended warranty. We get reports of people that don't even have cars. The best one, I bought a car maybe 2 months ago, and the dealership mentioned that people that just buy cars get solicited and say, hey, your extended warranty just expired. It's like you just bought the car, you just bought the warranty. If you're not sure, reach out to your dealership. They'll be happy to help you. Try to look for the papers of the original warranty, or just give us a call and say, hey, I received a call from this number. I'm not sure. You'll receive so much correspondence from these extended warranty companies. I usually just throw them all away and make sure that I shred them before, just because it usually does have your name and address, and you don't want that just, flying around on trash cans. Again, now the sweepstakes, it kind of ties into the foreign lotteries. These can come through email, social media posts, or message, and also through the mail. These are a little bit different than the foreign in the sense that maybe you'll see, oh, if you click here, a lot of them I see come through WhatsApp or Facebook. If you click here, you're going to win $300 for groceries from Walmart, and you can share it to 10 people. That's spam. And again, scammers are looking to find personal information and financial information. So if you share it, they'll eventually maybe hit someone that doesn't have great firewalls in their systems, and they can again pull that information. So be careful what you share on social media. I know a lot of it maybe seems too good to be true, but there's a lot of people who get their accounts hacked, and these things get shared and passed on, or sent through a Facebook message. So just as a rule of thumb, try not to share anything that you're not really sure of, especially when it comes to these sweepstakes. I know we had one going around, and it's cyclical. It comes back usually towards the end of the year. It's Publix, and it tells you, oh, you have this Publix coupon, and it's $50. And if you fill out this info, you're going to get $50. I have not known Publix to give more than $10, and that's when you go and get the flu shot by them. So as a rule of thumb, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. None of these grocery chains are going to give you $50, $100. They're just not going to, because that's a lot of money they're losing. So if you see that amount, just know that that's a scam. They will ask you to pay an amount to receive your prize, and that you may deduce it from your winnings. This is false. Actual sweepstakes, and I know I have friends that always enter into different sweepstakes for different companies, will not ask you for anything in return or to receive your prize. And it's probably the first thing that says in the rules or regulations that no purchase is necessary and no money is necessary in return. That's usually the first rule in the official rules when you scroll down and see the fine print of a contest. So if they're asking you to pay money, again, false. So shady practices to be aware of, and again, just to recap, pushy salesmen, very first one to be aware of, and that comes in all areas, whether they're trying to sell you a system for your home, an investment product, just anything, just be aware, or trying to get you to go into a contract for cable, alarms, anything. Do your research first. Do not allow these people to just push you into buying something. Outrageous claims, again, promising a lot of money, promising a lavish life. Just be aware of this. Asking you to pay cash or with gift cards. The other one that I didn't list here is going to Western Union to send a wire. That's the other one. Beware. If you have to leave your house to go and send money, and no, just hang up the phone or don't click. Just get away from there as fast as possible. The gift cards is a big one, and it's a problem that we've had for years, and unfortunately we have not been able to get rid of completely, because people continue to go to Walgreens or Target or wherever they sell the cash gift cards and put all this money while they have the scammer on the phone telling them, put all this money there so that you can pay and get your Social Security reinstated or not go to jail or any of these crazy things that they're claiming on the other side of the phone. If you're not sure, call your local law enforcement or call the BBB, and we'll give you the peace of mind that yes, this is a scam. Not helping you understand a contract or agreement. This is another one that we work with businesses in our area consistently. Maybe there's the business that means well, but their contract or agreement seems a little bit murky. If you have a salesperson not really helping you understand what you're signing into, is like I mentioned early, it is your right to understand what you're buying into. It is your money. So feel free to ask all the questions. And if at the end of the day you still don't feel sure, then just don't go into it. And then to protect yourself, the do not call list that I mentioned earlier that you can register yourself. You can go to call this number, or you can go to do not call.gov and register yourself there. Again, don't do business with someone who shows up at your door. I talked a lot about pushy salespeople, and we have had reports, especially in your area, where people just go door to door. I'm in Miami, so in Miami is not as common for people to go door to door because just people won't answer the door here. Unfortunately, we're not friendly, but I know north of Miami, and as we go further north, people are a lot more friendly. They can open the door and hear you out. So don't do business with them because we have had reports of people just claiming things. And I think the one that we had, the most recent one was people showing up at someone's door claiming that they were going to test them for COVID, and then that they were going to give them the vaccine right there. And our theory, the people just disappear when the person was hesitant. But our theory is that they were probably casing out their place to see if the person lived alone and what was happening. Thank God this person called law enforcement, and then law enforcement talked to us as well. But yeah, our theory was that they were kind of getting a feel to see if this person lived alone and what properties they had. Never pay money to enter a sweepstakes or win a prize. And again, that's just reinforcing what we talked about earlier. Go back, William. Okay, so again, don't give out personal or financial information. Anyone that you talk to on the phone that wants to know your social security number, what bank you do business with, just don't, because again, maybe a scammer has partial information, but they just need your last name to be able to get into your bank account. So do not give out information on social media messages or post them in random blogs or even here. Chelsea said at the beginning of the presentation, do not give up personal information. Check your credit report annually. So you can go to annualcreditreport.com and you get one report a year, and you'll see and you can find any discrepancies or issues or things that may be on your credit report that don't belong to you. It may be a sign that someone is applying to things on your behalf, and you can dispute those. So you can call or go to the website. And again, the golden rule of avoiding scams: if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So again, be careful. If it sounds crazy and it sounds made of unicorns, just don't fall for it, because really that's how a lot of people fall for it. They get very excited and they kind of just throw everything that we've taught them or that they see out the window. So again, the information here for the BBB, that's the address for the Steward office. You can write to us. You can ask for a sheet to just file a complaint. If you have a complaint against a business, we'll be happy to process that for you. And then info@bbbsefl.org if you have general questions. The scam tracker, bbb.org/scam tracker is a service that you can provide to the community. So what our peers do, what the community does is go in there and report a scam, even if they haven't lost any money. So if you're tapped by a scam, you see something maybe in your area, you can go ahead and report it to us, even if you're not the victim, but we'll be able to see it. And you can actually go into Scam Tracker and see the map of the scams in your area. And it shows up like little color bubbles, and you'll see the list. You'll see how much people actually lost. You see what the scammer told the victim. So you'll see. But again, if you haven't lost money, you can still report the scam. And lastly, if you want to be our friend, go on facebook.com/BBSCFL, and you'll be able to find our Facebook there, and you'll be able to see a lot of the tips that we give, videos, a lot of little squares that you can kind of just save on your phone for rule of thumb, or Instagram or Twitter. Feel free to just follow us on all the social media platforms. And I think that might be the end. Thank you guys so much for joining and hearing me out. And I know it was a lot of information. I know it can be overwhelming and it can feel daunting, but don't be afraid. As long as you do your due diligence, you'll be able to save yourself from losing a lot of money. So I think now we're going to go into the Q&A portion of the presentation.
So for anyone who has questions, you are welcome to, at the bottom of your screen, if you hover over the screen, you can see a little Q&A. So feel free to drop a question in there.
Don't be shy. There are no wrong questions. All questions are welcome. Or maybe I just did a great job and you have no doubts. Or if you think about questions later on or something that you come across, you can just reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. And Jackie has been with the Bureau for a long, long time, and she has come across all sorts of things. And I know Jackie is very good at talking to people that reach out to her and tell her, hey, this came on my phone or something, what do I do? And Jackie has saved hundreds of people, at least in the 5 years that I've been here, from investing money or using their credit cards to pay thousands of dollars for, fake employments, etc. So Jackie is always a good resource.
Cynthia, one more thing I wanted to add. For those that aren't that savvy on computer, overwhelmed, don't get the yellow pages anymore, the Better Business Bureau offers a roster of businesses in specific categories that you're considering. You want to get your pavers cleaned. You want to get your roof cleaned. How about your swimming pool? Or you need a new roof or a plumber. We will be happy to provide you with a list of companies, but it'll be your responsibility. We will empower you so that you can check these companies, get your prices in writing, your quotes in writing, and at least 3 companies. This way you can see if everybody's in the same ballpark as each other. And you can also break it down specifically for companies that you want to use, keeping the business local. If you're in Jensen Beach, we've got Jensen Beach contractors. If you want somebody in Palm City, we got Palm City. We have Port Salerno, Stewart, all of the above to make it easier for you to feel empowered instead of powerless.
That's great information. So for everyone who's still on with us, thank you so much for joining us. We were recording this session. There will be a follow-up email in the next couple of days to everyone who registered, whether you're able to join us this afternoon or not. And it will contain this recording. It will contain the slides that were shown during the presentation today, all of our contact information. So you will be armed with the information you need to hopefully be protected against scams in the future. Okay, I don't see any questions coming through. So with that, I guess we'll sign off. Thank you everyone so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for your time.
Bye.
Bye.
Be well.